Hello and welcome to Cody Philosophy. As it stands, the United States currently exhibits the largest incarceration rate per capita of any other known country. Despite housing only 4% of the world's population, a staggering 25% of all prisoners on the planet currently reside within the US, sparking many a fierce debate as to why such a developed and innovative nation cannot better manage the factors influencing the imprisonment of their fellow countrymen. Such factors that have been cited as causal links to lawful detention include economic disparity, civil injustice, prison system privatization, racial inequality, and a bevy of other issues, both civil and social. Perhaps the most disturbing aspect regarding U.S. incarceration lies within its recidivism rate, with roughly half of all released inmates returning to prison within 1 year's time. Be it a failing of external support systems, personal agency over one's actions, or some insidious combination thereof, reintegration back into society for these individuals has proven difficult to impossible altogether. I am not concerned with the genesis of this cycle. I will let the smarter and more qualified aficionados hash out the chicken or the egg discussion. I am but a simple man offering a humble solution to what is an otherwise harrowing circumstance, also known as the plot to every Tom Hanks movie ever made.
So Cody, what kind of fresh hell solution did your pea-brain cook up for us this time? Let me guess, we forced the inmates to watch your treacherous videos as the highest form of punishment, so the idea of returning to prison is so unthinkable that they happily assimilate themselves back into the fabric of society.
Well, my dear friends, this one's actually quite elementary. It requires minimal effort, minimal capital, and guarantees at least a modicum of success. Without further ado, my ghouls and goblins, we simply release our imprisoned compatriots into the world. The world of Gielinor, otherwise known as the virtual landscape of Runescape.
Have you completely lost your mind? You are now in full courtship of madness beyond any hope of retrieval. Were you dropped on your head as an infant before being briskly ushered into your awaiting mother's arms on the delivery table, who could have been none other than Casey Anthony herself?
I know what you're thinking. How on earth could one of the nerdiest, or perhaps the nerdiest video game ever created impact our nation's criminal justice system, populated by some of the most hardened convicts on the planet? I shall explain. For those that are unaware, Runescape is a medieval-themed, overhead point-and-click massive multiplayer online role-playing game that seamlessly blends various elements of action, fantasy and adventure. It is one of the longest-running MMORPGs in existence, known for its infamously long grinds, which in the gaming community refers to the performing of repetitive tasks over and over and over and over and over and over and over for a desired outcome, such as the acquiring of levels, loot, or unlocks. Weekly updates and additions to the game, coupled with its sheer size and array of possibilities, has rendered RuneScape virtually unfinishable. So why would anyone willingly subject themselves to these undertakings? Well, the appeal from such experience stems from the concept known as delayed gratification, or engaging in a particular activity for extended periods with the perceived anticipation of attaining some greater reward than what would have been received with immediacy. While this phenomenon is actually associated with a great many positive attributes such as academic success, career pursuits, physical and psychological welfare. Games such as RuneScape may exploit this psychological feature by hacking our biology to slavishly pursue that alluring next level up or account upgrade, even at the potential expense of our personal and professional lives. Because of this, MMORPGs are widely regarded as one of the most addictive forms of gaming today, with many users, both previous and current, likening it to a kind of virtual form of heroin, ever pulling at the strands of one's psyche to return to the hamster wheel for just one more ever-precious endogenous release of dopamine. While I'm not in any way suggesting that the Drug Enforcement Administration drop all their current field assignments to criminalize and prosecute this genre of gaming to the fullest extent of the law, it sure is a hell of a lot closer to a Schedule 1 substance than this shit. There does exist, however, a perhaps more sinister motive for playing such a game. When you kill another player in Call of Duty or Halo, you've imposed a minor inconvenience to their well-being, serviced partially or entirely by a proper tea-bagging of course, yet within a moment's time they are swiftly respawned and return to the action following a relatively brief interval. In a nutshell, these games, and others like them, would be deemed high-quality, low-stakes. Games such as Runescape seek to inverse the relationship of these variables. While the graphics appear as though they are the insipid love child of a Casio watch and AT9 calculator, the stakes are proportionally elevated in that when you kill a player for several million GP, you've rendered the time they've invested in the acquirement of those resources useless. In other words, you have effectively slain a parcel of their actual life for your own fortune. So to recap, here we have a contingent of individuals with a gratuitous amount of time on their hands, with a predisposition for the attainment of riches by any means necessary and an indifference to acts of harm befalling onto their fellow man. And we have a game requiring copious downtime, offering ceaseless treasures and the potential for quenching some of the thirst for committing unsavory acts on the community at large. Not since the pairing of shake weights with strippers behind in Rent has there ever been a more suitable matching of customer and product. Picture this: upon admittance to their cell, awaiting the convict is a bed, a toilet, and a modestly valued PC capable of 3 functions: turning on, playing Runescape, and turning off. For all hours of the day the inmate spends their time learning the game mechanics and customizing account builds to their liking, whilst garnering intimacy with the overall process, until gradually over time the reward pathways in their brain for committing objectionable behavior within society is replaced with the attack rotationing of the alchemical hydra. Following termination of their sentence, the individual is ushered back into the world with a newfound appetite for knocking down the trees of Gillinor instead of knocking over the neighborhood 7-Eleven. For the 2 remaining viewers who've made it this far, it appears the delayed gratification circuitry in your brain is functioning optimally. I shall henceforth commence your reward ceremony with the finest in succulent imagery. Warning: the content you're about to see is erotic in nature. Viewer discretion is advised. Oh yes, wield that pole like a Zamarakian Asta, you dirty NPC. I'd sure like to grab all 6 of those pixels. Girl, you put the crack in Kraken. You put the hoe in Zalcano. When I'm done with you, you'll be looking like a meat pie after a night in the Keldergrim pub. Your time spent with me has been greatly appreciated. Feel free to like, subscribe, or tell me and my Jamie Lee Curtis voice to get fucked in the comments. Good day to you.